Oh, hello. Thank Godot, it's Friday. Hey, Remus. How's it going? Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Welcome to episode 334 of Digital Iliad. We're making an FTL-like game in Godot. In a kind of a roundabout way, but we're getting there. And yeah, today's probably going to be short. You'll notice I'm starting later than usual. Probably going to be a short stream today. I've been staying up too late. Trying to work on stuff. We'll look at some of that. Yesterday was good. Yesterday we fixed some bugs with the auto tiling. And so that pretty much works now. Pretty happy with that. Thanks, Raymond. Give this a second to like process. Hey, Nanigans, how's it going? Happy Friday. Yeah, we're pretty happy right now. I think everything's looking pretty good. The auto tiler. We kind of gave up on the compartment-based rendering that we were working on yesterday because there's just some challenges associated with it that I don't have the answers to. And the nice thing is we don't have to fix it right now. We're going to try to return to our rallying cry of let's not worry about that right now as this like clown music starts playing. Called Mischievous Sprites. That's pretty good. Oh, you know what we should do? We should stop letting the game respond to cursor inputs when it's literally outside of the window. How are you doing, Jacob? The man, the myth, the auto tiler himself. Thank you. Yeah, if we set up one of our little test rooms, it all look always exactly the same. How are you doing, Jacob? What have you been up to? Hey, Tonkers Tinkers. How's it going? How did Build a Bonsai do in D2 Jam? Very mid, which is about what I expected. Considering, you know, we kind of put together a little toy more than we did a game. That's always what happens to me. I get caught up on tech and environmental stuff, and I struggle to make anything that's like mechanically coherent or interesting. Or we spent the whole jam trying to make a game about pruning a bonsai tree, and then we couldn't get the pruning to work, so we had, you know, we flipped it on its head and made it more about you know, building the bonsai rather than pruning it. And I think it turned out okay, but yeah, it's not exactly what, you know, we were hoping for. But yeah, how are you doing? Happy Friday. We got Ludum Dare in like a month, less than a month, so I'm already getting ready for the next jam in my mind here. I've been working on some templates so that we don't have to spend quite as much time next jam on tools and systems, and we can hopefully spend more time on content and actually getting gameplay going. But yeah, the auto tiler, we fixed all the corner issues we were having. There's still weirdness, I think, in the way that it responds, especially like here around the edges of the corners. I think it's weird, but I think the thing about it is it's technically correct. So I'm hesitant to change that. Hey, Jacob, you're doing good. You did a big old run today. Ooh, you did a 15-kilometer run. Wow, that sounds long. That's like what, like close to like a 10-mile run, something like that. Continuing practice arena stuff and Fabled Footy. Yeah, I can't wait to see Fabled Footy come out. That game is going to be so great. I love the presentation of that game. But yeah, I think the auto tiler's pretty cool. I think it's in a good place. I think we can pretty much call this good to go. What's next? Yeah, what's next is a good question. Happy Friday. Thanks, Nanigans. You too. All right. Per compartment canvas item draws. I'm going to put this back on hold. That's not exactly a tile block editor problem, but I'm going to put it in this list anyway. It's more of a general rendering solution issue, but put it in the list. I think the next big group is to work on the undo redo and the save load stuff. And then I want to figure out how the block palette works, so that we can actually select different blocks for placing different things. And we have a few other things I want to work out, like actually being able to paint the faces of the blocks directly. There's a 12K race in May. You're training up a bit. Oh, nice. Yeah, I gotta get active. I did the classic old person thing of I hurt my neck while sleeping, so I can't really rotate my head very much. Yeah, I would love to move on from the tile block editor as soon as possible. I think we can say I have some ideas about the tile selection overlay that I'm tempted to change. The auto tiler corner cases I think are done. Although there is one issue with the selection overlay where I think the auto tiler acts weirdly, but I think we can say that that's pretty much done. I'm going to leave it here for now, just as long as we're still working on the overlays. But I think the cutaway system is pretty done. There is that one error that I was noticing in the editor, but it's self-correcting, so I guess I'll leave these here for now, but I think we're pretty much done with the review for these. So we can pick something new soon. As a reminder, that's why you got back into running, Jacob? Your neck was jank? Yeah. Yeah, I got a work from home, desk job. I guess it was 4 years ago now, having worked on my feet for the decade before that, and it's amazing how badly my health has gone. And after just a few years of a sedentary lifestyle. It's crazy. It's getting to the point where I got to do something about it. I have a plan. Bike. Yeah, that's eventually the plan. Smooth in a second. I think first I'm going to be doing some physical therapy so that I don't just injure myself as soon as I start trying to exercise. I've got a referral to get some good healthy stretches and habits and stuff set up through some physical therapy. And then I think I will do more exercise. That's always what happens to me when I try to get back into exercise, is I end up injuring myself, and then I'm just out of commission, and it's there's no point. So I gotta ramp back into it in a way that doesn't destroy me. But how's it going, Smooth? You can tune it up. I will say I haven't ridden it since its last tune-up a year ago. So I think it's mostly good. Just maybe some slight brake adjustments I need to make, and lube it up. Yeah, I usually do this thing where I get it tuned up every year, and I'm I'm gonna start riding it, and then I don't ride it. But yeah, I have a good bike, so I just gotta do it. Terrified of trying to cross the bridge nowadays, though. It's so windy. Hey, Sapphire. How's it going? Happy Friday. But yeah, as a reminder, our game plan: make a Steam page, get a game trailer, make the vertical slice, aka a demo that we can, keep updating. These are the things we want to do this year. And I'm kind of breaking it up into quarters. So I think Q2, we really want to get the Steam page knocked up as soon as possible. I was actually looking into the Steamworks stuff involved in getting a Steam page up. I was looking at that yesterday. And I think next week I'm going to start working on it. I have a Thursday game dev group, co-working group that's business oriented, where we try to hang out and work on the business stuff that's not fun, that you kind of tend to put off. And it's a good motivator. It gets me to do things work on my website and look at Steamworks and other stuff. Sapphire, it's going pretty good. You're allowed it's Friday. You don't have to go to work tomorrow. Nice, nice. Yeah. So yeah, this is our plan. We really want to put everything else on hold so we can work on this plan for Lo-Fi Flyby, our little idle casual indie simulation strategy game for Steam. And I have a few things we're already working on. We're working on our pilot character. We're working on our pet companion. I've started mocking up a small cargo ship layout. The thing I really need to start working on is like my ambient soundscape systems so that we can generate non-repeating like music. I mean, it'll repeat eventually, but generate a soundscape that's like satisfying. I really need to get into that. I actually have an instrument coming this weekend. That should be fun for jamming. I don't think I'll record anything live, but I've been wanting to do more jamming. So I got a pan drum for some ambient soundscape stuff. See if I can come up with any ideas. But yeah, we got to work on our digital audio workstation stuff. But today, I kind of want to expand a little. I want to look at what I was doing around the selection overlay. So if you look at our current selection overlay, hey, Sapphire, you got the 85 stream streak. It's incredible. Pillar of the community. So let me just put a bunch of stuff up here. Doesn't really matter what it is. Just make a bunch of random stuff that we can select. Yeah, there's something wrong with the auto tiler here. There's a corner check that's malfunctioning here. You can see the dots. And in fact, the opposite corner here is not. Yeah, there's some corner issues with the auto tiler. We might look at that a little bit today so we can put this, so we can say the auto tiler's done. Yeah, we can select a bunch of stuff. And this is what the selection looks like currently. It's like a very washed out. Yeah, this is also wrong. You'll notice this stuff. I don't think this can happen, but it's probably a side of, it's probably the same thing. This like, these like white dots, which means the corner is, the corners aren't being removed. And it has something to do with a block being downstream from it. I'm gonna work on some of that stuff, but yeah, this selection outline is okay, but I think it's kind of a lot. So we were exploring some alternatives yesterday, and I messed around with them more, and I want to look at those and decide if we want to do anything with those. More auto tiler work needed. We're so close to being done. We're so close. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. This is a fine selection thing. It has a problem, which is that it only works. It can only draw over opaque tiles. Like you can't, like if I select a big box from like here to here, you'll notice you only see the surfaces that actually are, and this is fine. I think it's a lot. But what I'm thinking about is changing it to something simpler. I think something simpler would be nice. I mocked some stuff up last night. So we were already looking at some stuff, but I'm thinking about doing something like this. Like I like these. And I would have it be a bounding box. So if you have a shape like this, it would actually bounding box around the whole shape rather than like conforming to the exact contours of the thing that's being boxed. This is an idea I had for a dotted line one. I also had an idea for a dotted line one that had measurements. Because we talked about adding like a measuring tape kind of thing so you could actually see how many blocks you're including. The problem is getting the vertical block thing to work is turning out to be tough. Hey, Rhiannon. I really don't like this. Specifically this. I really don't like what happens here. But yeah, we could easily map these. I also like how this extends beyond the thing that's being selected a little bit. I think visually that's very nice compared to what we currently got going. And it avoids a lot of what I don't like about line work, which is usually it overwrites the underlying line. Like if we have a dotted line that goes like this, that's fine, right? But if we have a dotted line that goes like this, I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate this. I think this is terrible. But if it's like up here, and if it's bounding box based so that it like does something like this, this is good. Diagram day. Yeah, I mocked up some alternative selection overlay stuff that I'm considering trying. Those look nice. Yeah. I'm thinking that we would have like this one be the cursor one. So when you're actively like boxing, you would have the full dotted line connection. And then when you let go, the dotted lines would go away and you would just be left with this. And I kind of like that. But what I want to avoid is this. And I would like to do this kind of ruler, like measuring tape thing. So you could be like, okay, 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. And you could see that by the little like extra little indentations. I want to do that, but the problem is adding that in a way that's vertically satisfying. This is what I've come up with as an idea. Adding these little vertical notches. I'm tempted to try this. Because this is nice because it breaks up the thing that's happening here, which I absolutely hate. Which is this kind of alternating square thing. It breaks that up visually by inserting these like little notches that tell you, hey, this is 3 blocks tall. Because it's like you start 1 block, 2 block, 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. You can kind of see. And then you can do the same thing to the side. Just, 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. And then when you let go, this part goes away. And then all you're left with is like this sort of thing. That's the idea. I'm tempted to try this. Sapphire, the only thing with those top ones is depending on how large of a box, you feel like you could lose track of where the box is. You also, I don't think it also wouldn't look like this very often. This would just be for when you're in the editor mode and you can physically move the blocks. If you're in the play mode, it would look different. How big a deal is the vertical line overlaying the black line if it's only happening during the selection? It's a pretty big deal to me. But yeah, you're right. Like if you were selecting an area because you were trying to box like multiple characters or like cargo or equipment or something, it would instead of boxing the whole area, it would actually just box the individual elements that were selected. The whole area boxing thing would only happen during edit mode if you could select these, because you can only select a block itself, You can only do that if you're in edit mode. If you're in play mode, you can't select just like a hull block. You could select like a door or multiple doors, and then these little things would appear over the doors that you selected. I like it because it is minimally invasive. It impacts the underlying art in a really minimal way. And then if we do this version for when you're actively selecting, this gives us that measuring stick thing, right? And I could actually imagine extending these out so that you could actually see and measure where your block is when you're like just hovering around. Like I could see casting some of these lines out to try to hit nearby walls and floors, just so you have a little bit more of a 3D understanding of where your cursor is. Fair enough, it's your game. We're trying to be detail oriented. But yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Because it bothers me because I'm staring at this all the time. Like I stared at this for like 4 hours last night and I was like, I hate this. But a player would see this for like a moment and it would be gone. And they wouldn't care. So I think that's an important point to make. I think that point is well made. But yeah, I kind of want to try this one. Which I have the makings for setting this up as a tile set. I do not have the makings for doing this one, so we got to do that. And we got to do one for this one. So we got to like take this, copy this over here. I'm tired, so I think this is what we're going to do today. Let's just mess around. It's still March. I said I was going to kind of mulligan on Q1 since for our new plan, and we'll get serious about it in Q2, which means I have a few more days to kind of just fuck around. And I think I'm going to take it. I think I'm going to take advantage of it. So here we want to like erase the extra stuff because we wouldn't include this in this version of it. How's everyone doing? I'm ready for the weekend. I do like this as a really minimal, like, character outline thing. I think we'll apply something like this in a lot of situations. Rhiannon, you do like the notch because it also indicates the inward direction of the selection. Mm. Yeah, I can see that. It's a good point. Sapphire, there's blocks everywhere around you right now. You're just chilling in Minecraft while watching. That's funny. I saw something new in Discord recently where they've started letting people with the word game in their server name. They've started letting them host like Minecraft and like Hightail servers directly in their Discord server, which is interesting. I don't know if that's like a pilot or something. Should I just hide this? Yeah, I should. I should not do this. They actually wouldn't be involved in this, would they? Well, I'll leave it. mind me. I'm gonna like literally do the same thing here. Even though it's kind of a waste of effort. You can kind of tell when I'm just filling time here. Yeah, I wanna knock these up. They should work with our existing overlay issues. Maybe we should fix that auto tile thing first. Just because it might be hard to tell with the new selection overlay that that's happening. In which case, maybe it doesn't matter. But actually, we do. We're going to continue to use those overlays. We're just going to use them for different things than selection. We'll use them to represent, like, low oxygen environments or high temperature environments. Or we'll use it for something. Those, like, semi-transparent selection overlays that we're currently using. We'll use that for something. I just don't think we're going to use it for selections, per se. Right? It'd be for like masking something, like an invalid block mask could be that. And then for selections, I want a little bit of a lighter touch. Jacob, you know there are mods that you can hook up Discord voice to local voice in Minecraft. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Jacob, it was interesting. It just spun up voice channels for people in proximity and kicked them out as they left. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't finish this. There we go. All right, so that's what it would look like. So I'm doing this to draw out what the tiles would look like for drawing these. Because we'd be drawing these with the auto tiler. Which is why I'm drawing these little diagrams. So yeah, it's diagram drawing day, as Rhiannon called it. I'm just kind of mocking it up in here. I don't know why I should put it in its own file. Yeah, you're thinking about the possibilities, the other integrations. Yeah, it seems very cool. All right, now I want to mock up this one. That's kind of the final step here. Move this over. This will help us figure out how to draw this stuff. It's a little awkward because it involves, essentially you need neighboring tiles to help you do this, but that shouldn't actually be that much of a problem. I don't foresee it being much of a problem. Diagram days are nice. I agree. I agree. They're nice for me. I'm gonna turn my brain off sometimes. So we'll probably work on the implementation of this today, and if we don't finish it today, we'll do it tomorrow. And, you know, next week, Tuesday is the last day of March, and we got to start getting serious. We're gonna stay on. If we're gonna stay on track with our self-imposed schedule and game plan, which I would like to. I would like to remain on track as much as possible. We mainly just need content. We mainly need content for the store page. So we can get a Steam store page up. That's like the highest priority, because there needs to be somewhere to funnel viewers of the stream and viewers of the VODs, people who are interested in what I'm doing, and they want to passively follow along, right? They want to make a little bookmark for themselves and be like, I gotta check in on this later. And maybe they don't want us to tune into the stream all the time, but they would be willing to wishlist something on Steam. We gotta get that up. We're gonna get that up ASAP. A lot of people were telling me you really don't want a Steam page without a trailer. But I confirmed yesterday that is not a hard requirement anymore. It used to be that Valve would not let you post a Steam page without a trailer, but thankfully they removed that limitation a few years ago. Because that's definitely not something we'd be able to do right off the bat in our position. For a minute I thought I was in trouble and I'd have to make that first. This is correct so far, I think. Rhiannon, you added a really bad mock-up to general chat and Discord for how to deal with what Sapphire was talking about with large selections on the corner-only outlines. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I liked your project updates, Rhiannon. I see what you're doing here. The problem with this... So the problem with this is what shape are these? Because I did think about this. I thought about taking this one and like adding in something like my little indicators. But yeah, the problem is what shape are the middle notches? Because if you just do this and you start adding these, it's like, yeah, these ones are easy because you just do something like this. You do like... You just get rid of that. It's like, these are easy. You do something like that. That's reasonable, actually. Problem is this way. Here, we're just doing these little squares. Because the only other alternative, if you try to draw something like these arrows, it falls apart. And I will demonstrate in what way it falls apart. So if we start doing our little hash lines, and then how many? Is it 3 and then a thing? Yeah, it's 3 and then a marker. Use the larger indicators. Just take out the busier, smaller dots. The problem is what shape is the larger indicator, which should go here. Is it this? I think that looks a little funky. I mean, we could do it. If it's not this, if you actually try to put it in perspective, then is it this? That looks really funky. Or is it this? Still funky. All right? I thought about this last night, and I was like, I could not come up with one that was okay. This is the least bad, but I don't like what happens when you put a bunch of them in a line. So if we do another one, I think it would be here. 1, 2. Wait, how did I desync this somehow? Oh, I put 4 here. Oops. Like, this is okay. I think it's confusing. What if it was the square, but the outside diagonal pixel was missing? So like this. That's okay. I just think because these are only ever going to be rectilinear, like they're just bounding boxes. Like they're not going to be curved to the shape of the thing that is selected. They're just going to be the smallest bounding box that contains it. I don't think I need connectors. I think I want connectors at this phase because when you're doing this, you're like actually measuring things out. You might be like, okay, I want to see how big a 4x4x4 would be. Not having the different shape. Try just having the 2x2 square. Not having the different shape than what you're having in the other outline. Yeah, like this. It's okay. Is it better if I then also do this? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it would be acceptable. You don't think? Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad either. I just don't think I need it. Just because this is a bounding box, so you only really need to define the corners. But when you're actually measuring the thing, you might want to know how long it is. I mean, this might be too busy for it to be meaningfully, you to be able to meaningfully measure it. Like I might need to like increase the size of these or something. Make it easier to count, but I think it's a good idea. I just like how clean this is. Obviously, it looks better in this kind of a context where it's not just masking a single block. We might try a few things. Never say never. We're going to try the other one first. Wait, what did I do here? How did I mess this up so thoroughly? There we go. And then this one. Well, then why is this one all weird? Why is the background pink? Just to help my eyes. I could do like this, but I find this concerning. It's just the I'm just using the main colors because it's the best color. I'm using the orange, the green, and the blue for the axis dimensions for the faces. I only have so many ramps. Hey, Arneo. Yeah, it's also the best for contrasting with the other colors, I think. It is giving me a rather pinkish glow. How's it going, Arneo? Happy Friday. Okay, so that's those. So it's actually kind of interesting how the responsibility for drawing these is. It's actually kind of unintuitive. But it's still very definable. It's still very mappable. It looks like there's going to be some duplication of effort, which I think is okay because that'll actually work along with the Z indexing and Y sorting and stuff to hopefully give us selection boxes that respond correctly to the environment. To like, if part of it should be obscured or not. Nanigans, you're going to head out for the weekend. No worries. Take it easy, Nanigans. I'll see you next week. Enjoy. Enjoy your weekend. Yeah, we're going to build a tile set atlas out of these once I'm done. Why is this so long? Oh, I know. I should just do this part first. Everything's going in dev land. For some reason, you're playing Valheim again? Good reasons, for good reasons. I gotta go back. I gotta go spend some time on the Valheim server. My community, my little community's Valheim server. We started playing in January of 21, I think. Around there. And it was after our D&D group had kind of died following the, you know, the move to virtual. And the core group decided to start playing a Valheim server, and that server is still running. And I think the timing of us starting to pick it up was really perfect because we've basically got to play with we got to play with the game as they've been adding content to it, a lot of content. It's been really great. I have a lot of constructions I've made in there over the year. But yeah, most recently, I've made a northerly port, which will be used for stockpiling materials for the war effort in the far north when the far north expansion drops. Not expansion, when the far north, you know, update drops, which should be the last major update of the game in terms of like what they consider, you know, to be full release. But yeah, I love Valheim. One of those games I'll be sad I can never play again for the first time. Like Subnautica. Any exploration game, I'm always ultimately very sad that I can never play it again for the first time because the experience is usually so good. And with Valheim, it was doubly so because I was playing with my friends. Which is pretty much the only kind of gaming I do nowadays, is gaming with friends. I really don't play games by myself. As long as, you know, if you discount things like Rusty's retirement and shit like that. Okay. That's good. Hey, Nix. Your group server didn't like Mistlands and gave up? Oh, no. I'm running our server on Amazon, and we're definitely using the large. I'm definitely using the largest server that they let me use. And there's only like 5 of us playing. Four of us? There's only 4 of us playing. And yeah, we're on the largest server that you can, the T3 large, whatever. T3.large. Yeah, that game did not want anything smaller. Beefy game. But yeah, I love Valheim deeply. It's a great example of what you can do stylistically to make an incredibly beautiful game that's low poly and like low texture, low res texture. What they lack in maybe raw fidelity in terms of like the assets, they more than make up in lighting, in shading and lighting and everything. Oh, it's amazing. I could keep talking about the incredible nature of Valheim. I could keep talking about it for a long time. I'm just gonna do this one and then mirror it, so I'm not a total idiot. I know my workflow is usually like really bad, but Chili's learned how to open doors. Oh, your life is over. I don't know if there's any coming back from that. Arneo, when DLSS 5 gets to Valheim, it'll truly be in the end times. That would be weird. I'm not gonna weigh into the whole DLSS 5 thing, but like, it's super clear what that service is built. What that filter that they say it's not a well, Jensen Huang says it's not a filter, but that filter thing, it's very clearly only for hyper realistic games. It's only for games that are aiming for hyper realistic character models and hyper realistic environments. And so, like, for people going for the hyper realistic, for photorealism, I actually think it's like fine. But like the thing I take issue with is like not every game should be. Most games, in fact, should not be hyper realistic. Hyper realistic should not hyper realism should not be the goal. In almost all cases, you should be aiming for, like, Valheim would not be improved by being hyper realistic. It would be in fact quite worse, quite a bit worse. But that's my angry gamer take on that. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. Sorry you're sick. Raccoons? Who brought up raccoons? My girlfriend and I watched Pompoko the other day. Great movie. Top level Studio Ghibli film. Definitely in my top, like, my short list. Probably in my top 3 if I'm being honest. There's stuff that they achieve in that film that they've never attempted to do. Just the way they do all the transformation. I've never seen anything like that. I feel like we just listened to this song. Here we go. I Have the Intern. What a great song title. You did? I don't remember mentioning raccoons, but I'm not actually, you know, when I'm streaming, my brain is like, sometimes it gets into a write only. I'm not reading back the things that I'm saying, which is not a good way to do it. That is a dangerous way to be on the internet. But yeah, Pompoko. Go watch it. Turn off the stream. Go watch Pompoko. Prepare to cry. Because all Takahata films, the result of any Takahata film is to just absolutely destroy you emotionally by the end of it. This is from the guy that brought us Grave of the Fireflies, right? Which is the saddest movie ever made. Even though it looks like a children's film, it's like the saddest thing anyone has ever done. Heartbreaking. Pompoko is much sweeter, but it's still a Takahata joint. Meaning, by the end of it, you're still, like, crying. But it's so good. It was so good. That's my raccoon rant. Sorry, I'm like tired and unfocused today, which is probably part of the reason I'm ranting. But we're having a good time. We're diagramming up an alternative selection overlay. That's a much more of a light touch. It's going to have much less of a transformative effect on the art underneath the selection, which I think is a good goal to have with the selection overlay. You want to mess with the underlying art as little as possible. And currently what we're doing is we're using this like really intense mask. And I think that is a mistake. I watched a Babylon 5 scene this morning on YouTube. It was a Jakar scene, of course. Probably gonna need to rewatch that show soon. The thing is, I'm in the middle of like my TNG like remastered Blu-ray rewatch. I'm still on season 1 because it's so good. I just want to savor it. The last episode I watched was Skin of Evil, which makes everyone which is one of the a very sad episode. It's actually really well made, but it's just like so sad in terms of just why did it have to go this way. But my next episode I have to watch is We'll Always Have Paris, which is for me, that's a personal highlight of season 1. We'll Always Have Paris is so good. It's got like some weird timey-wimey stuff. It's got some like Picard, like personal stuff. So I'm excited. I might watch that tonight while I'm just working on stuff. I've been trying to watch Firefly while drawing up the small cargo ship, but there really isn't a lot of Firefly, and I think I'm already on the last disc of the 3-disc set. So I'm quickly running out of Firefly for this purpose. But yeah. I would say the Babylon 5 scene I watched this morning was like one of Shikar's best scenes, but Shikar has so many perfect scenes that I don't think it's a meaningful distinction. I think every scene that man is in is absolutely brilliant. Andreas Katsulas was one of the great character actors of sci-fi television. He played a mean Romulan too. He had a great Romulan. Tomalak. Romulan commander. You're tired and focused as well. Not completely recovered from your workday. Fair. Pretty much any Jakar scene is great. Yeah, I know, right? There are no bad Jakar scenes. They're all so good. Especially if it's Jakar and Londo. Yeah. Yeah, the scene was I won't say it. It's kind of got a spoiler in it. But man, perfect. Perfect characters from a perfect show. Yeah, you should watch Firefly. I think you'd enjoy it, Sapphire. You gotta watch it before they make the animated reboot. It's sweet. I think nowadays the like Joss Whedon like dialogue is like very, I mean, it's all we have anymore. And I think that gives it kind of a bad taste sometimes because it's really one of those shows that established the Joss Whedon dialogue, you know, having been made by Joss Whedon. But nowadays, all Marvel movies are only written using Joss Whedon dialogue. So I think it's kind of soured a lot in recent years. Just that quippy, just. But for some reason, it feels very grounded and realistic in Firefly. Not like ridiculous like it feels in like the later Marvel usages. Not in the whole like somehow Palpatine returned level of writing that we're getting nowadays. Did I fuck this up? I might have fucked this up. I don't. No, I did okay. Okay. Language. We're all right. We're all right, Nix. You only need to watch your language for the first 7 minutes of the YouTube video. That's what I've been told. If you don't want to get demonetized. And we're well past that. We're in our first ad break. Time flies when you're diagramming. And anyway, diagram days, art days have really low viewership, I've learned. Everyone who watches me are programmers, and no one wants to see me draw, which I don't blame them. Our viewership tanks hard when I have a drawing day. But we're almost done, and then we'll be able to take these pieces that I've drawn out here, and we'll be able to turn these into a tile set for our canvas item drawer. Hey, Rimas, you're neither. Well, what are you even doing here? I'm kidding. I'm super grateful to have you here, Rimas. You're one of the silent stalwarts of the stream. You're always one of the first people to send a message, and you're almost always still here when I go offline. And I notice stuff like that. I appreciate you. Thanks for the hydrate. You're really maxing out the hydrates today, Nix. You like to see me draw? I appreciate that, Sapphire. You can say anything when we're mid-ads. That's a good point. That's a good point. Joss Whedon dialogue works best coming from Nathan Fillion. It kind of does, doesn't it? Kind of does. How would I compare Whedon dialogue to Sorkin dialogue? That is an interesting question. Aaron Sorkin is the one who brought us great films, quote unquote, great films, like The Social Network. To be fair, Sorkin did make a few good men. Steve Jobs wasn't bad either. The film. I would say it's pretty different. Oh, he also made Moneyball, huh? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It is a really juxtaposed... I think where Whedon dialogue is, like, irreverent and doesn't take itself seriously enough for the situation. Like, Whedon dialogue is always unnecessarily irreverent. Like, an asteroid will be coming to hit Earth. And then... Or no, what is it? At one point, Iron Man is, like, annoyed at Thanos, and he's like, he hit me with a planet. It's like, we're like, what are we doing here? But yeah, Whedon's known for very snappy, irreverent, like not taking the situation seriously enough dialogue. I think Sorkin is known for the opposite. In my mind. In my mind, Sorkin dialogue is like so deadly serious. Even if the situation does not call for it, it's like such weighty dialogue. It feels like everyone is too serious at all times. Maybe that's mostly the fault of guys like Jesse Eisenberg and Ashton Kutcher and like Jack Nicholson. Like maybe it has something to do with the actors that are chosen to be in his films, but his dialogue feels chewy in a way that is somewhat unpleasant to me. Alan Tudyk. Yeah, Alan Tudyk is maybe the perfect person to be delivering Whedon dialogue. West Wing and The Newsroom. I never saw either of those. I'm not a big television drama watcher. But yeah, I acknowledge that he made those. I wish I had coffee. I wish I had coffee, Nix. I ran out of coffee. I'll go get some tea after this when I'm on my usual post-stream laundry run. That was too far. Yeah, like in The Social Network, I don't feel like anyone in that film talks like a college student. As just an example of how I feel like Sorkin dialogue is just like way too serious and weird. But I don't know. I also haven't seen that film in a while. How am I doing this in such a way that this is royally effed up? What have I done? Ah, I see what I did. I went in too early. You feel like in The West Wing especially, it's a lot of non-seriousness. But that's one of your faves. Yeah, I didn't see enough of that. I'm mostly familiar with the movies, which maybe with his movies, which maybe are different in terms of pacing, in terms of what you have time for. Because man, back in those old TV shows, you had 26 episodes a season to say whatever the fuck you want, right? That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time for a lot of beach episodes, right? A lot of like non-plot advancing, just like whatever. Just kind of do whatever kind of episodes. Which I think are great. I think part of the problem with modern TV is that everything is so expensive. Even to get a 9-episode season is like $1 billion. There's no time. People always talk about that in terms of criticism of like modern Star Trek versus old Star Trek. And like part of what made old Star Trek so good is that they had time to explore these characters. And to explore them in non-heavy-handed, they could take a light touch to these issues. They could talk around a lot of stuff. Whatever that means. You know when I'm tired and unfocused when I just start ranting about television. I feel like that's a significant portion of my streams. Dave's unsolicited opinions about TV. Which is kind of the only thing I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV. Oh, maybe I do watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of new TV. But it's TV and film is really the media that I absorb. I don't play a lot of games. I unfortunately don't really read any books. I'm like a deeply ignorant person nowadays. It's kind of concerning. I know it's concerning to my partner. I try to be open. I try not to come off like the critical drinker or whatever. Someone who mostly only has bad things to say. Which isn't maybe fair to him, but, you know, whatever. Not trying to start beef with the YouTube people. Is this not enough? It's not enough. You miss long seasons of shows. We really do miss out on a lot of random character development. Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs to watch Pluribus. It's life-changingly good. Arneo, I have been told that. I have been told I need to watch Pluribus. I still haven't even watched what's the other one? What's the Severance? Not Severance. Not Severance. What's the other one? What is it? Oh no, Severance. Yeah. I haven't seen that either. I've been told that needs. There's a lot of stuff on Apple TV that I do not watch, mainly because I do not have Apple TV. Also on Apple TV. Yeah, apparently all of the shows people are like, you gotta watch, they're all on Apple TV, which is, I think I own almost every single major streaming service. I think I pay for virtually every single streaming service. But that's not one. I have Prime Video. I have Paramount Plus. I have HBO Max. Apparently those two things are going to be the same in the future. I have Hulu. I have Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm getting sick of having to get more of these streaming services. Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch, Nix. I do need to stretch. You're going to bed now? All right. Take it easy, Nix. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good weekend either way. Apple TV apparently has been killing it. My parents watch a lot of TV. And they're always telling me about some Apple TV show. Nix, you have 137,000 points. Yeah, we need a point sync. I was informed that point syncs are not allowed to have real-world dollar values, which kind of defeated my idea. Eventually, I was just going to be like, spend 100,000 points to get like a Steam key for like Lo-Fi Flyby or something, and I was just going to fix it that way. Maybe we can come up with something else. I am willing to entertain ideas in the suggestion box if people have ideas for what to do in terms of engagement. The only idea I really have is to add more audio cues, like more fun, like Star Trek or like sci-fi audio cues. That's all I have, but those are relatively cheap. So that doesn't really help people who are here every day. So yeah, I will take suggestions on some high roller stuff we could add. All right, so I think we're ready to go now. This selection one is going to be really simple. It's just 16. So actually, what's complicated about this one is I think these are going to require a new tile format. I don't think our existing format will work for these. Let's see if that's true. Open up the block template. We'll add a new. We'll save it as cursor block. $100,000 points. I sing you a song. 500,000. Oh, 500,000 points to get your name in the game. I want to do something like that. I want to do something a lot broader than that, though. I want to do something like, I want to see if I have a record of, like, subscribers or something. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to doing that. So that's really hard to track. But we will probably do some kind of get your name in the game somehow. It's not a bad idea. I don't know if it's that useful for, like, lo-fi fly, not for lo-fi flyby, but for the main game, because I already have an idea for the main game, which is like a Twitch integration, so that you can have your characters, like the minor characters, like all the NPCs and stuff, be named after viewers or subscribers or whatever. Like, I already want to implement something like that. That doesn't totally make sense for lo-fi, because lo-fi has a very small number of characters. And it would be a lot of work to, like, add a character to that game. Whereas just substituting the crew member name is really easy. Like, you could have, like, Lieutenant Nix. I would do something funny, like subscribers get to be, like, friendly crew members, and then just viewers would be, like, enemy crew members. So that, like, a pirate ship would attack you, and all of the pirates would all have, like, names of your viewers. I think that would be very funny. I look forward to doing some Twitch integration stuff on the main game, which needs a name sooner than later. I can't really keep calling it Digital Iliad, but I also don't have a solution. And we're working on lo-fi flyby anyway right now. Well, right now we're working on generic systems that will work for both. But you know what I mean. In terms of content delivery, I'm much more concerned about lo-fi flyby right now. Where am I? I'm here. Okay. So we need to replace these with a new format. So we could use the existing format, maybe. I'm going to actually make this bigger so that we can do a side-by-side. Oh, that was not big enough. 256. We'll put the grid back on so you can actually see. It's a good point, Sapphire. Days of our lives. Oh my god. Spend points to force Dave to explain code and stuff. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I know. I need some time to actually just go back through the suggestions I've already received and implement some of them before I solicit new suggestions. Oh, you know what we need to do again is split the overlay off from the underlying textures. We're not going to do that right now, but that is something we're going to need to do. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to delete the texture faces. Well, we'll do that eventually. We'll leave the outlines. We'll work on the outline layers. So what we're trying to do is we're going to take these and we're going to make these into tiles that can fit into our template. We're probably going to need to make a new template format for this selection shape stuff. Anyway. So this one's really simple. This one only has 16 things, right? It's got 8 of these and 8 of these. So this one's trivial. So I'm going to do this one second. Because this one definitely needs its own format. Which, there's a reason why we made scriptable tile, scriptable texture atlas formats, was so that we could have different formats for different situations. I just haven't had to actually go through with that before, you know? So let's start with these. Alongside the sitting standing thing. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me not wanting to sit stand. That we could turn back on. That kind of dovetails into the physical therapy stuff that I need to be doing. I work so much. I am so tired. I do not want to stand while I'm working. If you have any pets, you could have one to have a pup cam or be replaced by a live cam. Oh, if I had a dog, you would know. We would have a dog cam. I would have a dog sitting in my lap right now, and I would be a huge famous streamer. Because the only thing keeping this stream from blowing up is a dog cam. If I had a dog, I wouldn't even bother showing my own face. We were working our way up, me and my partner. We were working our way up to getting a dog, which is a hilarious bullshit thing to say, but we were doing it. We were working our way up there. The problem is this whole return to office thing. The specter of return to office. The sword of RTO. The Damocles-like sword that's just kind of swaying above me. And that's going to happen at the end of this year, and it kind of put the kibosh on any kind of change to our lifestyle at all in any way. How am I going to structure these? I'm going to structure this starting out. We'll just lay it out like it's here, like it's laid out here. We'll start with this. It seems easy. Programmer dog. Jacob, your brain doesn't work while standing and trying to program. I find it helpful. I find the standing by itself helps some stuff. Like, obviously, it helps with, like, circulation. But I find the stillness of it is really the core problem. And yeah, if I'm in a situation like this where I have shoulder and neck pain, standing is just so burdensome. But yeah, it's the variety. It's like sitting a long time is not good. Standing a long time is moderately better. But it's like the switching is really nice. The variety. A friend of mine who teaches like Pilates and stuff. We were musing about this at one point, and she helpfully said that she doesn't really think there's any one position the body is in that is just guaranteed not to cause pain at any point. Like, to some extent, the stagnation is what causes the problem, right? All right, we're gonna copy these over so that I have something to see. It's the stagnation that's the issue. Like, you might think that the position is comfortable, but it's like, is that position still gonna be comfortable 6 hours from now? It's like, no. Generally, no. The answer is no. Yeah, it's got to be movement. It's change. Change is the good thing, right? Dogs make you walk a lot. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, no, a dog is a big commitment, but we're ready. We're ready. We're ready emotionally, if not materially and physically. We're ready to have a dog, but materially, it would be a bit of a stretch right now. And in terms of the commitment we can make, in terms of being home, it's tough. Nix, you're only limited by your apartment, which forces you to have no more than 2 cats. That's funny. Rhiannon, you had 2. You just found an equilibrium, and then you got a 3rd. It's because your wife was working at the shelter. Someone wanted to adopt her. Your wife overheard them say they would just stick her out back with their current dog and let them fight it out. Oh my God. Thankfully, they left without taking her. You did a trial period the same day to keep her safe from them. That's wild. Yeah, I have this thing. My partner thinks that I could just go down to the shelter and just look. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I could not just go down to the dog shelter and just look at a dog and be okay. As soon as I find out about the specific dogs and their specific needs and the circumstances that they're in, I would be forced to act. I would be forced to get a dog right then and there. I don't think I can just go to the shelter just to hang out, you know? I'm going to draw this instead of copy it. Drawing it, that seems to be better. So this would go do. Like this. Do. Do. All right, the next one is this one. And the last one, this is identical. And then so the last one is this one. Yeah, it's not like normal shopping. Both the dogs you got were not the ones you went there for. That's funny. But yeah, it's crazy. How I could be expected to just do that. Bye, Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out. So this one was like this. Yeah, this is going to be weird to figure out the formatting for this. Okay, now this one is like that. Is that right? No. Yoink. Thanks for the stretch. Wait a second, I said I'm leaving too. That's funny. Yeah, my partner is constantly sending me pages for dogs at the SPCA. And it's heartbreaking. I would be totally one of those people that spends their retirement just like taking care of like neglected dogs. Just like fill my property with dogs. I don't have property, let's be clear. But if I did, it would basically be just a giant dog sanctuary. Okay, this is literally all we need for these, for the X faces, which means it's also literally all we need for the Y faces, which is a very small number. Oh wait, no, we need the vertical ones. I'm dumb. I am dumb. We need to add a layer in between here. We need to add these. And these, there's 2 sets actually. Oh, there's 3 sets. Okay, never mind. We're back. We're back in business here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, but they're just at the edges. That's fine. We'll reposition these in a way that makes sense. Like, this packing is weird and was different than the tile map, the way the tile map will think about them. But I'm more interested in the packing at the moment. We should actually figure out what the tile mapping is going to be, but I actually think it'll be pretty consistent with what we've already got going on in terms of how the auto tiler will think about them. So nothing, that, this, like this. Okay. Oop, turn that off. Like that. Jacob, you just gotta make that big indie game money. Yeah, then stay home and care for dogs. That's the dream. That is the dream. Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, pretty jealous of like Pirate Software's whole ferret software deal. I don't love ferrets, but I love the idea, you know? Nothing against ferrets, personally. I just don't have the same visceral reaction to them the way I do to dogs. Intense desire to take care of the dogs. So the dogs are perfect angels that need our help. They're largely helpless. They're also blameless. Okay, this is like this. Where does the cutoff for this? Okay. It's like this, but upside down. I can work with that. Like that. Yeah. Arneo, even you're not much of an animal person, but you also dream of living in the country with a bunch of creatures. Yeah, there's something appealing about that. The actual amount of work involved is significantly less appealing, but, you know, for the dogs, we would do it. For the sake of the dogs, we would do it. Okay, I kind of understand how this works now. All right, so we're up to 12 tiles. That is a super awkward number. It's very different than what we've got going on here. You know what? Maybe we can include the corners. Maybe. Whatever. Oh, wait. If this is 12, yeah, maybe we could include these ones. Maybe. The simpler ones, the non-dotted ones. Oh, you know what's kind of awkward? We actually need versions of these that don't include this double dot thing. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true at all. Cool. Yeah, we good. We good. Squirrel is the best animal, hands down. Okay. You should sell squirrels at pet stores. Squirrels are wild, especially urban squirrels. They have been through the trenches. Okay, I kind of want to leave it like this because I actually understand what's going on here. I don't know how to organize this, but that's okay. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. All right, let's do the other ones. Let's do the Y-facing ones. How do I want to do that? How do I do these? These are the same, but locally reversed. Okay. I can work with that. Well, in that case, I could just take these and individually. So we copy them all down. Like this. And then we just individually flip them. That gives us ostensibly what we want. Whoever talked me into redoing the tile selection overlays is evil. It was me. It was me. I talked myself into it. Oh, did I? I actually did rearrange these for this, huh? I'm a little confused. It's fine. Oh, dang it. I put these in the wrong... I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna put this in the correct layer. Oh my god. There we go. I appreciate everyone hanging out on a very sleepy stream. On a very neck pain, sleep deprived, unfocused, wasting time kind of stream. But thank Godot, it's Friday. Yeah, how did I make it so that these looked the same? Because here, you're going that way, you're positive X. This is negative X. Oh, I really did reposition these. Okay, I'll do that here too. I kind of like this. It doesn't look quite as clean. I guess it looks fine. Making our little boxes. I guess that won't work forever. So I guess I'll do the other ones because I have room here. But the idea is that we're going to put these dotted lines in place of the current selection structure, which is just this mask. And I mean, this is nice because it's simple. Notice how how it's a lot of drawing, right? Because we're actually masking over every single block. This is a lot extra stuff to draw, and it's a lot of changes to make. And so what's kind of nice is that the other outline will actually involve very little updates, because you're either just doing the bounding box corners, or you're doing the dotted line thing, which is just around the exterior. So I'm excited about that. I think it'll look cool. I think we'll still have these kinds of overlays, but I think these will be used for like the invalid tile mask, or like low oxygen rooms. You could turn on a low oxygen room viewer, or you could have like a temperature mask where like things get more orangey tinted if it's hot and you've got that widget on, and they get like more blue if it's like cold. I don't know how rim world we're gonna get, you know, with this stuff, but those kinds of emergent properties you want those in the game, because any emergent property like that is just material for storytelling, for emergent storytelling, for think of the generally accepted best Firefly episode, which is Out of Gas. I say generally accepted amongst me and the people that I talk to. Oh, we have that auto tiling bug I was gonna fix. We might do that tomorrow after we finish up this selection outline thing. But yeah, I want to be done with a lot of this messing around with the editor. I want to finish by the end of this month. I mean, we're not gonna be finished with the editor, but we'll move on to some of the more serious things, like we'll do a little save load. Doesn't need to be complicated. I realize I over-engineered this tool. I'm willing to admit that. But to be fair, I didn't know we were going to make Lo-Fi Flyby. In fairness to me. Oh, neat. Yeah, this is a really involved selection. I mean, it's very clear what you've selected, I guess. But I think the new one will help, especially with the measuring stick stuff. Because, like, here, I know that these blocks are different size dimensions along each side, but I don't know what the count is. Unless you, like, literally count, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what if you accidentally start going this way, and yeah, something like this happens. Oh no, I lost count. Was it 5 or 6? I don't know. I have to admit, in all the excitement, I lost track myself. That's an incredibly oblique Dirty Harry reference. All right, so this is the more complicated ones, are these, this set here. These are the more complicated ones. The simple ones are here. And you know what? I probably should knock them up as their own thing. Oh, the Z's. We forgot to do the Z surfaces. There we go. There'll be some room for some stuff there. Z face outline. We gotta change the grid. 32 by 8. I forgot about these. We'll start with this one. I need to get rid of these. There isn't room. We actually need more space for this one. We'll worry about packing this in a minute. I just want to look at it. So this is the top corner. We'll put here. Oh boy. And then this one is like this. No, this isn't right. What's going on? Yeah, I put this in the wrong spot. It's like this. Here. I'm on the wrong layer. Oh my god. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I know the streams are of variable quality. And I acknowledge that when I'm like pushing myself too hard like this, the quality of the stream goes down a lot. I'm like working too much. I don't have any energy. So I appreciate y'all for hanging in there. I can't wait. I can't wait till we get more stuff mocking up. We are going to be mocking up some like lo-fi flyby screenshots. We're going to work on some like, eventually we're going to be able to start working on capsule art. I really want to focus more on the characters and the ship layout, and getting some really nice scenes. So honestly, there is going to be more art streams than less probably, but I'm hoping it'll be more interesting than some of the stuff we've been working on when we're kind of, you know, when we're working on some of our drier utilities and stuff. I know it can get pretty tedious. Is this right? Yeah. I'm drawing this the way you see it, which is like diagonally. This is like very wasteful, but there's so much space here. We'll pack it down in a second. Just trying to visualize what's going on here, because there's actually more of these tiles than the other tiles. I think this is right. Doot, doot, doot. Yep. Rhiannon, it's gloomy and rainy over where you are, which you enjoy. A low energy art stream is perfect. Good. What's that now? Is it this? Oh, yeah. Oop. Arneo, is the bathroom almost complete? Have we almost finished tiling? That's funny. That's funny. Retro Engine, what's up? It's the creative process, has its ups and downs. You're enjoying it. I appreciate that. I appreciate the testimony. I get preoccupied with like the viewer data from like YouTube and stuff. So I can kind of see when we're down bad, as it were. But But I think I get preoccupied. Everyone I've talked to says don't look at analytics like that. Just do what you're going to do anyway. I'm getting better at it as I get more comfortable. I'm just acknowledging that there are ups and downs. That's all right. But I think as we further develop the visual style and we get more stuff in the game, I think it will and just in general, everything will just get better. There will be a lot more to look at. There will be a lot more people who come by and see something that they're interested in. Because right now it's very speculative, right? Like you see this and you're like, what the fuck is this? It's like hard to see the big picture, especially when you're just, you know, hopping around surfing Twitch or YouTube or whatever. So like I get it. It's a big lift. But that's part of the reason why I really want to get the Steam page up ASAP. Is like the people that do come by and are interested and want to find out more, I really want to provide them a way to do that. I mean, obviously the most active people join the Discord or whatever, but like I need a way for people of passing interest to signal that in a way that keeps them informed. It keeps me feeling like we're getting progress. It gives me a number that I can give to people to show that there actually is interest in this game and that we are growing and that, you know, when the game comes out, there will be people who are interested. I mean, hopefully. That's obviously speculative on my part, but... All right, so this is the top one. And then there's also a bottom one, which is this one. I think we're going to finish this. I'm going to do this part later because this is so... This version is so simple. I'm actually struggling to envision how I'm going to do it. But that's silly. That's not accurate. This one will actually be trivial, and that's fine. This one's more complicated, so I think tackling this one first is a good idea. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who decides to spend part of their day here. I try not to like fish for real. Oh my god. The wrong layer. Wrong layer Dave strikes again. Insane. Alright, well, I'm not redoing those. I try to keep it light, try to keep it fun. But yeah, I know it's hard to distinguish someone who's tired from someone who's like morose. Which I guess in my day, you know, I try not to be a morosity. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Alright, now I gotta clean this up. You know what I really want to do? I really want to go see Project Hail Mary. I was thinking about going this weekend, but my local theater has some really fun old movies they're showing, and I'm like, But I really want to see Project Hail Mary. It looks fun. All right, now this one. And then we're done. Let's try to do it on the right layer. Hope you're doing well, Retro Engine. Yeah, like I said, I've been researching like Steam store pages. I was very reassured that I don't actually need to make the trailer first. You are in fact allowed to just put up a store page without a trailer. Very reassuring. Everyone's advice is to not do that, which I think in general is a good advice, because it feels cheap and it feels like screenshots can be faked, you know, etc. But my counterpoint to that has been, I just need somewhere to send people like, I think that's great advice if, you know, most of your Steam traffic is coming from within Steam through browse features and stuff. But we just need somewhere to send people who are interested in the game, right? Like if someone actually decides to go out to the Steam page, it probably means they've already seen a VOD or they've seen like a stream. And I don't think whether there's a trailer or not is going to terribly matter at that point. But I think generally that is really good advice. Probably you would want to seriously consider putting up a trailer either before or immediately after getting your Steam page up. Which it is our next thing to do after we get the Steam page, is to get some kind of trailer together, but it's going to be much harder than, you know, knocking together something compelling with like a few screenshots, right? A lot harder. All right, that's it. So that's the Z tiles. We can actually delete the ones that we aren't using. Oh. Delete the ones we're not using. We'll need to leave one that's like the blank tile. I guess I'll leave this one. I'm gonna snooze the ads because I think we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. I know this is like a really short stream, and I'm sorry. We do have a Saturday stream, which I think I will be a lot more energized for, and will be a lot more interesting. We'll actually implement these new selection overlays, and we'll get to see how they look. And I think they're going to look really, really cool. Get rid of this thing. Get rid of these too. We'll leave one of these to represent the empty tile. Oops. All right, so this is what we've got, and this is what we're going to need to use. We've got 12 edge and corner tiles, one middle tile that's empty. That's just a space for, you just need an empty tile the way we've got the, actually maybe you don't need an empty tile because this isn't actually a tile map, is it? We could actually just not create the tile if it's just going to be empty. That's neat. Yeah, let's do that. We don't need the empty one. Forget the empty one. That actually is interesting. We should go back and look at some of our other textures with that understanding. That since we're not using a tile map layer anymore, we actually don't need the empty tile spaces. I mean, you arguably don't need that either in a tile map. It was just easy from an organizational standpoint. All right, yeah, we got to figure out. We have to figure out how to pack this tomorrow. These 12 X faces, 12 Y faces, and 13 Z faces. Great. No, not 13. I can't count. 5, 10. Oh no, 13. Yeah. I totally can count. Don't question my ability to count. 8 and 5 is totally 13. Yeah, this is going to be funky. This is going to be a funky one. But that's okay. That's why we have those scriptable texture format structures. so we can define funky stuff like this. This one's going to be really simple. This one's actually going to be a funky number 2, huh? Because it's going to be 4 plus 3 plus 8. 7 and 8. So there's going to be 15 tiles here. Why are there more tiles for this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, because I'm counting them all together. I'm dumb. So, all right. I'll add those to this probably, this file. We'll see if we can pack them all in. We might not be able to. We might need a separate format, which is okay. Make it easy to make up alternative versions of those files. But yeah, super quiet stream. Super short stream. I apologize. I'm just trying to get through the work week. I gotta go back to work after this. And I gotta go get some laundry going before that. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I know it's a little early. And we started a little late. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll try to do something longer tomorrow. We'll probably do something a little more fun. We'll do some auto tiling. We'll fix that last auto tiler bug with the tile selection overlay. And we'll get these new fun selection tiles into the game. We'll get these in. This is a fun one. This is gonna be a fun one. This is for the active selection, like when you're click dragging for like boxing. And then I think when you're done boxing, all the things that you've selected will have these little bounding boxes. These little simplified just the arrows bounding boxes that will be left behind. And I think it will be really satisfying. I'm hoping it'll be satisfying. He said it would be cool. And we'll throw those in the game tomorrow. Take a look at that. Thank you all. Hey, Danny OC, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Sorry we're popping into the end here, but we'll be back tomorrow. We normally stream Tuesdays through Saturdays, so we'll be on tomorrow. Stream was chill. Thanks, Arneo. Appreciate that. Thank you all. Yeah. Really appreciate you spending time here with me. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all next time. Wait! Danny OC is the 666th follower. That's pretty metal. Let's just acknowledge how metal that is for a second. Hail Satan. I mean Danny OC. Thanks for becoming the 666th follower. That's like yesterday. Yesterday's stream was the 333rd episode. And then today we're getting our 666th follower. It's a sign. I don't know if there's a higher power that's on our side, but there's definitely a lower power. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody's looking out for us. All right. On that wonderful bombshell, it's time for us to end. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye.